Base command, base command. Our trajectory is set. Telemetry is sound. Our communications are up. We have a stream. We are going live in 3, 2, 1. Ballistic Patriot live.
The American dog was telling him about how things were in this country. He said, you know, you bark and you bark long enough, and then somebody comes along and gives you some meat. And the Polish dog said, what's meat? The Russian dog says, what's bark?
All I ever have in my life, I am Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus.
Those gym muscles aren't scaring anybody, pal.
Your friend here really insulted my friend, and he needs to apologize.
Donald Trump no longer has the capacity to break my heart.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.
So don't mess with me.
What are you prepared to do?
I'm going to wrap this chain around your head.
Looks like we lost a daughter, but we gained a meathead.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
What's your view on homosexuality?
Yeah, I am mindful that we're all sinners. And I caution those who may try to take the speck out of their neighbor's eye when they got a log in their own.
And here we are, brother. We are here. We're both looking at our phones, and it's another exciting.
Welcome, brother.
You've come to visit the Northern Independence Command.
Fort Independence.
Fort Independence.
We used to come up here all the time.
Yes.
And I have to say, this is a crappy scene compared to our regular one. Where's the big flag behind me?
Well, you know.
Where's the mic?
It's extenuating circumstances.
Spent all day on.
Where's the better camera? I'm not really in the best camera.
Oh, okay.
You have the better camera.
Well, we should have switched that. But
I gave you the better camera.
But we had another wonderful day at the Memorial Luigi F. Baldini range.
Yep, that's right.
Did some secret squirrel stuff we're not allowed to talk about, but
right.
It was excellent, beautiful, wonderful day. Amazing day up in God's country, out in the
right.
real world. So you ready for your catchpellum? Let's light this candle.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Let's light this candle.
Para bellum. I'm trying to work out my new catchphrase. Just not if you want peace, prepare for war. Just prepare for war.
Prepare for war. All right.
Para bellum.
All right.
You ready?
Yes, I think we're ready to start the show.
Light this candle.
Let's light this candle. So, one of the things that we have going on in the show, we have this on the screen here. We're going to start with our updates as usual. The update for this week is the Mega Million Man March down in Washington, D.C. to support our president. And we know that this is, this was going on today. And
the best president we ever had?
The best president we ever had, most definitely. And he will be, he will be reelected. We're still determined to make sure that happens. And you'll note down here at the people here, we have a few. Let me see if I can get them up here. Some pictures that I was able to get from Facebook from people who went. We obviously weren't able to go because we were down at the range doing some super secret stuff. And here's a big crowd of people. We definitely have. We also have some video. I'll play some video. Yeah. And you can see John. Yeah.
That girl's got a vote, man.
Yeah.
That girl's got to be in charge somewhere. Oops.
So you can see there's some other videos. So we have some other videos. So we have other videos. I'll continue to talk here. And we got some nice pictures.
Wow.
Big crowds, lots of big crowds there, brother. But I wanted to point out on the other side of town, over in front of the White House, and what they're calling now the Black Lives Matter, whatever, the park or
Plaza or whatever.
Plaza, yeah. We have from the Tatum report, this report. This is a Trump supporter. Here who is trying to get through. You can see he's being attacked.
Sure.
He's being got this off of Twitter.
Throwing stuff on him.
Throwing stuff at him. Yeah, we've got the Trump shirt on. Such a classy group of people. Such a classy group of people treating. Of course, you see the news, the cameras being going off and everything. So
look at these brave little soy boys
beating and attacking this poor old man, gray-haired old man. Such quality people that we have down there who are representing America with their behavior, brother. I wonder. Washington D.C. is one of those states that doesn't allow, cities that does not allow concealed carry or anything like that. I wonder what their response would be if that was actually allowed to happen. If people were walking around armed and they had concealed carry, I wonder if they'd be so brave then, brother. Do you think they might? Try to attack people then?
Can we ask Kyle?
Can we ask who?
Kyle.
Kyle? Oh, I forgot. Our
Call of Duty
2020 champion. Yeah, exactly. So we could actually, we know what the answer would be, because we already saw in Kenosha, Washington, when we had we had the guy being attacked, Kyle Rittenhouse. He was attacked by the Democrats who were marching to cause trouble. So here we are, brother. That's my update for now.
All right, on to the election update.
On to the election update.
All right, this is a little complex, but here's where the election stands right now. It's still not over. It ain't over until the trans fat lady sings. And I'm not talking about Trump here. We're obviously talking about Pierre. What's his name now? Pierre
Delacour.
Yeah. All right, so it's not over yet. So we still have the keys, as we predicted, was Pennsylvania. There's various levels of this. There is the electronic fraud that's being exposed. There's the paper ballot fraud, and of course, then there's the legal fraud. And so first with the electronic fraud. Now, interesting enough, it came out. There was a blogger named Payday, who was a PD, who was a statistician who was watching the election and noticed a little change in the election. There was a point in the election in Pennsylvania where exactly 19,958 votes for Trump his vote was reduced, and surprisingly enough, amazingly, coincidentally, another 19,958 votes were added to Biden. Now, this is statistically impossible, and they noted that it would almost be like those votes were switched by somebody. And so he ran an algorithm where, because he's a statistician, where he put this out, and he observed that this is not the only one. And he categorized a couple of votes. The votes that just disappeared and to votes that were switched. And we actually have some of the numbers now from what he observed. And this is from the part of it comes from the background of as we're learning from the people who write the programs for this. All you got to do is say, when X happens, Y, do Y. And so that's why the federal government does not outsource various. Are you going to add something here?
No, I was just saying that this has been going around the internet. and this is exactly what it is. This right here is how the numbers jump for Biden, and all of a sudden he goes ahead while Trump's already.
That's a different algorithm. That's a different notice for the electronic fraud. That's another statistician who's observed that too. And what that is, the problem with that for good old Biden, and it could be it's all, you know, this could actually be that. But the problem with that particular statistician has noticed that because of the mail, if you are putting stuff in the mail is a automatic random sorter, and so that you would have places from far away Trump votes and you have places from close places that for a mail drop that would be Trump votes, and so you have a general distribution, an even distribution of votes all over. And what he noticed is that except for in the middle of the night, you had all of a sudden out of nowhere jumps in the votes like that. This is a different one. This one is noting that that there were just out and out switches, and there is a program that this Dominion program where if you notice the federal government does not outsource its code, and the reason why is because then people can add things to it. And one of the things that was added to this Dominion code, because it was originally based on it, is a code to switch votes and to weight votes. And so they say that it was used for cases of these horrible associations where one person might have a house, but another person might have a bigger house, so they weight the vote by how the square footage of it. And so that program was is in many of the states, and but this statistician noticed and looked just for the switches like he saw on the news where suspiciously, impossibly, you know, a particular number of 19,958 votes disappeared from one column for one person and then showed up in another. And he noted if you go through that and you staticize, like strategize the vote, you noted that in Pennsylvania, 228,883 were switched, 941,248 were lost, 21,042 lost votes, 456 in Florida, because Florida's got their act together actually, and Michigan switched 20,213, lost votes 21,883, but they had a different problem, a different electronic problem. Georgia switched 17,407, lost votes 33,574, of course within margin, and Wisconsin, 2,778 votes and lost votes 3,400, and that would cut literally half of the margin for Biden's win in that. And North Carolina, 0 votes switched and lost votes 15. Then it goes on to some more of the battleground states. It appears that there's multiple ways the ballots were affected. And you know that the sad thing is we've been putting up with this nonsense for as long as there have been elections. Now you would think that every time you go to the ATM machine and you put your card in there, they take a picture and they have an exact amount of money that comes out of your account, and you can do it immediately, and it's immediately trackable on your computer, on your phone, and yet we can't have a fair and trackable election system. Come on, that's nonsense, right? So that's where the electronic fraud is.
To get that card, you have to have an ID.
Oh,
you have to prove where you live. So I mean, there's an entire background check done on you in that case too.
Yeah. Okay. Now for the paper fraud. Now we noted, and the great Sidney Powell noted that there's a difference in one ballot selection. So basically, when you have a party a ballot, you fill out, you're gonna fill out for the Republicans, you're gonna fill out all the Democrats.
Right.
You almost never get the effect where they just vote where somebody just votes for one person, dog catcher, or for senator or for president. Yet in this election, you had this amazing news statistic of people just voting for Biden, and the reason, of course, was real simple.
Can I answer one? Can I just say one thing about that? There's a reason why they don't just vote for, like, say, the president. I mean, especially not the president, because the president is not somebody they're connected to, and very well, most likely, they're connected to their local town council, their local assemblyman, whoever may be in their area. They're more likely to have had contact with that person than the person running for president. So I mean, yeah, sure, you may desire to see a guy, the person win as president, but you would vote for somebody you know personally.
And that's why down ballot it happens. It never happens up ballot.
Yeah, down ballot is definitely.
Statistic. So now we have this from good old Sidney Powell, something that we noted, and it for that as Sidney Powell notes, for the one party, and the reason why is real simple, because when you're forging a fake paper ballot,
right,
you're lazy and you're not going to fill in for all the Republicans. You don't care about them. You're just going to put in Biden. And you're just going to scribble it in and you square. And so for PA, it's 45,724 is the margin for Biden right now. The one ballot vote is a staggering 98,000 single one. For GA, it's 10,353 difference. And for the single ballot, 80,000 to 90,000. For Arizona, 16,985 difference. And for the single ballot, meaning the only one person, the ballot has only one person for president. It's Biden. It's 42,000. And for Michigan, the difference is 114,000. And the single ballot is anywhere from 69 to 115,000. Wisconsin, difference of 20,000, and the single ballot is 62,000. Now, what's really shocking is if you note, for it almost never happens for it never happens for Trump, and Trump's votes tally almost exactly with the senator running in that race, whereas that's not the case for Biden. So that is the paper steal that they are stalling all for the vote. Now to the legal end. Now, this is where they're going to have to knock out Pennsylvania. Real Clear Politics has taken Pennsylvania out of the Biden counter. And because, to go back for the controlling case is Bush versus Gore. If you remember that, in Bush versus Gore, the federal Supreme Court stepped in and told the Florida Supreme Court, knock it off, stop. Now the justices couldn't all agree. Some of them, half of them did it for one reason, half of them did it for the other reason. The real reason was because, of course, any court has zero authority in the a matter of setting election rules. It's a fallacy. In a normal case, the court can make an argument. Well, there's a statute that's written, and we are allowed to we have to adjudicate cases. We have to adjudicate controversies. No, not with this. This is specifically laid out in the federal constitution that the state legislatures are the sole arbitrator. It's their plenary power to make the election rules. The specifically state legislature in each state. So it would be the same thing when the state court in Florida or the one in Pennsylvania recently decides that they're going to change the rules or have anything to say. It would be the same thing as if they decided one day that they were going to hire whoever was going to be in charge of the state police, that they were going to grant themselves salaries, that they were going to just write legislature. They have zero authority. And you know what? They're all lawyers. They know this. They all know this, and they all know that they're violating the law. Well, of course, Pennsylvania, right before the election, changed the rules in a number of ways. They first of all, they kicked off the Green Party because the Pennsylvania State Legislature, Supreme Court has 5 Democrats on it, and they act in a complete partisan way. They kicked off the Green Party candidate because that hurt Hillary last time. Then the third party hurt her last time. They also changed the rules, meaning they changed election day into election week. They absentee ballots have to have a matching signature on the outside, on the inside. They changed that, and they said, okay, it doesn't have to have a postmark date. Now, those changes, along with some of the improper procedures that have been going on willy-nilly with the green light of the Democrats in Pennsylvania, good old Wolf and his cronies in the county governments, have make it. If there's almost no way that Pennsylvania's election can survive and be put in Biden County. What they're counting on, of course, is the Supreme Court won't have the guts to do it because, of course, the other transvestite, John Roberts, the other transvestite has already exposed himself in that literally it came down because Amy Coney Barrett wasn't on the Supreme Court yet. he sided with the leftists on it to make a 4-4 decision on both of the two challenges prior pre-election in Michigan and in Pennsylvania. There's no legal justification for what he did. There's no consistency of his thought for what he just did. He was just trying to prevent the changing of the rules. The problem is this, and it's a huge problem. Someday, sometime soon, one of these idiots is going to figure it out there, and it's going to force Coney, and it's going to force the libertarian Gorsuch to stop being a libertarian. It's going to force Kavanaugh to get some Coney's back when good old Alito, who's holding strong, and good old Thomas make this very salient point to good old transvestite Roberts is this: hey, if the Democrats win, the Supreme Court as we know it will be over because they will pack it when they steal the election in Georgia. So the Supreme Court is going to have to address this. Now, in Bush versus Gore, three of them said, on narrow grounds, yes, the Constitution, on the actual history of actual law, yes, the Constitution says that the Florida State Supreme Court has zero authority, can't say anything. The other four of them did it on narrow grounds to say that it's a due process question because there's unequal treatment of the ballots. Both of those are in play in Florida, in Pennsylvania, in such staggering numbers, it cannot possibly survive this election. And if it gets knocked off, then in one of the 5 or 6 states, because that knocks it down to Biden down to 270. All you have to do is have something come through in Michigan or one of the other states to then have the election, boom, get knocked out and have to go to the House. Now, just an update on the Pennsylvania legislature, because behind the scenes, and this is one of the shocking things that you want to know, where's the fraud? Where's the proof of the fraud? Well, it never, if Biden really won this election, how come the Pennsylvania House won so big and the Republicans won so big in Pennsylvania? The Pennsylvania governor is split up. It's not one governor, it's split up into 5 or 6 people. So Shapiro, the attorney general with the power of the police in Pennsylvania, he won. But underneath him, the state treasurer and the auditor general, which are also like governor type powers, the Republicans won them. The state Senate picked up seats. The state House picked up seats, and they weren't supposed to. They were saying they're going to lose both the House and the state in Pennsylvania. So how the hell did Biden then win the state? Well, the current the guy who's going to be in charge of the House seems like a solid dude. He's from Lancaster. He's taken over. He's a young guy. He's a farmer. And here's the thing about all these state houses: it's now going to come down to them certifying this election. And why should they certify this election? I got just something from here from one of them. This is because these are people from flyover country. These are people that don't, the elites have no idea who they are. The current leader of the House in Pennsylvania, he's got a farm. He grows things. I think he's got like 11 acres. Maybe it's a big garden. But anyway, he goes. And this is from the Frank Ryan, who's in the state legislature, calling for he actually calling for the impeachment of one of the state Supreme Court judges for what they did. It's not enough. What they ought to do is they got to lock him up. But he's pointing out in the American Thinker in September. In September 2020, the PA Supreme Court changed Act 79 of 219 by allowing votes to arrive 3 days after Election Day and to permit drop boxes, both of which had been specifically precluded by Act 77. Even NPR wrote in its article that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court handed down several voting-related decisions Thursday that are likely to help Democrats this fall. This court extended the deadline to accepting mail-in ballots, which will allow voters to submit their ballots through drop boxes and remove the Green Party's candidate for president from ballot. These decisions were exacerbated when the court ruled just prior to the election that the signatures of mail-in ballots could not be verified. The conduct of one justice was so egregious that I have filed for impeachment. Okay, now that's one of the guys he's calling for. For it not to be certified currently in the Pennsylvania houses, and their margins, which was they were supposed to lose by 20 votes, is now stronger. So the chances of I mean, the reason why real clear, I'll tell you, the reason why we love real clear politics is because they're so judicial and fair on both sides, and that's the reason why they pulled the because they're looking at it legally. The chances of Pennsylvania staying in Biden's column are very slim. And then again, it comes down to 1 or 5, 6 of the other states. When PA gets knocked out, this could very, very, very well end up to the a contingency election like we talked about before, which is 26 delegates from Republicans to 22 delegates from Democrats, and then the Omega Man himself outlasts and gets his second term now instead of 4 years from now in 24. And that's the election update.
Exactly. Wow, that's a very thorough update, brother.
So far.
So my next segment is dealing more with these fake Republicans who have, I mean, you know who they are. They're people who have repeatedly said they support Trump and walk back that now that they feel that he's lost, they feel like he's vulnerable. Make no mistake, when Trump does come back at you, when he does get his second term, these people are going to start sucking up again because that's what they do. So I wanted to, we have a couple things I wanted to point out. This, of course, was the fraud allegation, fraud thing that we just had up a few minutes ago. I want to, before I go into the other side and these fake Republicans and the left, I do want to mention Dan Crenshaw, who is not one of these people who are abandoning the president. If you'll please note, just a somber reminder, that it wasn't a threat to democracy when Democrats questioned election outcomes, that everyone have their day in court, let the evidence be heard. American democracy is not going to break. And of course, this is a tweet quoting Nancy Pelosi from 2017. And we know that the Democrats have repeatedly demonstrated this idea that the 2016 election was in doubt. I want to start first with the leftist media. We have The Intercept here, which is asking about Hunter Biden's dossier. This would be the information that was taken off the laptop. This would be all the information that was discovered by Rudy Giuliani and a number of other people who were involved, where they've done some forensic analysis and they've taken parts. But most notably, in this entire compilation of BS, because I don't have any other way to describe it. I mean, they're trying to hook it on to Steve Bannon, which is one of their key points, which is when you know they're trying to discredit it, they're hooking it onto Newt Gingrich and Q. It says right here, the mysterious figure behind the conspiracy theory QAnon.
Yeah.
So this is an attempt to discredit. But I want to point out that the one thing that they don't discuss, that The Intercept, in its such brave attack on the Biden dossier, is not once, please note, not once do they mention Anthony
Babalinsky.
Not once is he referenced. Anthony, Tony, it doesn't matter. He's not referenced at all within this
fake news, man.
Entire thing. And I think it's hilarious because, wait, before you go on your day, on about your day, ask yourself how likely it is that your story that you read would have been produced by a different news outlet. I'd say pretty damn high, brother. I expect to see this shopped around and in every single newspaper around, because it's clearly just an attempt to shut down the dialogue and shut down the entire attack on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden for the big guy, brother. The big guy, because that's how he was referred to, right?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Yeah, come on, man.
Cool Pop was a bad dude because he was black.
So not to be outdone though, John, it's not like we have to, we as, Trump Republicans, Trump conservatives, not only are we struggling and fighting against these knuckleheads, and these people are true knuckleheads in the old style of knuckleheads, but we're also dealing with people in our own party, and this is National Review. Trump was not stabbed in the back, and then they go on to talk about how he was
stabbed in the back by them.
The man has more stabs in his more blades in his back
By Paul Ryan,
Julius Caesar.
Right. That was a good one. That was a good line. Good line.
He's got more knives in his back than Julius Caesar, and more holes in him than Julius Caesar too. Because these people, among others, Paul Ryan, Chris Christie in New Jersey here, and also John Brannick, who's the head of the Republican Party in the Assembly. All these people have said, "Oh, it's time for Trump to move on. Time for Trump to give up. It's not going anywhere." I mean, waste your time. Please go ahead. The only person on National Review, I think, at this point that we can trust anything is Victor David Hansen.
Of course, the incomparable,
and who has demonstrated repeatedly. And I just saw him on Epic Times.
I love him.
He was going on about what past President Trump has left, and the possibilities, and talking about the Dominion software, and going into that. I mean, a guy who is certainly worth reading, even if he isn't National Review. But these people, and people like, I align them now with Drudge Report and the other neocons who want to see a president who has gotten decreased in wars, decreased the war, not brought us into any new wars, who has saved our economy, who saved lives. I was, John, I was looking at some of my Facebook friends, and some of them have said, President Trump is responsible for killing
200,000 people.
200,000 Americans. Let me break that down for you. In the largest states, the two largest states that have the highest death toll in the entire country would be New Jersey and New York, and Pennsylvania too, for that matter. But New Jersey and New York are topping the other percentage of population-wise. And the majority of those people, 40% of those people who died in New Jersey and New York, were in senior centers. Now, this isn't talked about. You don't hear this in the mainstream media. Why would you? Because the mainstream media, this would make the Democrats look bad, because New Jersey and New York are both controlled by two communist Democrats, full-blown collectivists, full-blown. I mean, they have the full disease so completely and so thoroughly that, I mean, it's just blatantly visible. And so to protect them and protect the ideology, and the dopey-utopia ideology that they support, I mean, both of them want to have, one of them does have babies killed at birth, and the other one's trying to get babies killed at birth. So the ideology that they're trying to protect is that last year, at least in New Jersey, there was a test on whether the senior citizen centers in New Jersey would be protected if there was an outbreak. So under Murphy's administration, they've had this test, and the determination from this test was, it's too big of a job for us to say and to review all the paperwork right away. So instead of doing the entire country, the entire state, they nailed it down to just like 4 or 5. And they said that's going to be representative of everybody. So they didn't do it across the state. They just did it for 4 or 5, and that was it. And so when the pandemic does hit, what do? They, first of all, in one respect, they didn't do due diligence with that the year previous. And then second, Murphy and Cuomo sent sick, contagious individuals into senior centers who were not able to these centers were not able to isolate and maintain them because of last year's. We know this because last year they weren't authorized, they weren't checked out, they weren't cleared to be able to do it. We know that they couldn't do it. Murphy's administration knew this, and yet, John, nothing is said about this.
Let's talk about reckless, but your screen just says that's
yeah.
They can't see you talking.
That's fine by me.
They can't see you talking.
Yeah.
With the camera.
So they have that.
Can't you put? There you go.
There
All
we
right.
go. So they have that to to contend with. I'm here, bro.
Talk about reckless. Talk about beyond reckless. Intentional.
It is intentional. I mean,
it's not even. It's not negligence. It's not intentional.
It's intentional.
It's not even knowing. It's the highest.
But
Premeditated.
Not
premeditated.
No, I think it was, John, because they understood that this was going to be at least a year long. They wanted to have a cudgel to beat President Trump with. They wanted to have something that they could do it, and they found a very easy set of victims that they could use it on. It's no surprise to me that a state like Florida, with even more seniors and even more centers and even more vulnerable people, didn't have the death toll that they did in New York and New Jersey, run by Democrats, Wolf and Michigan as well. Wolf in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Michigan with Whitmore or whatever, Whitmore.
Whitmer.
Yeah, with those clowns, I'm not surprised, John. I mean, they locked us all down, and that's that's a whole other issue. But I believe, and I'll say this now, let them come after me. I'll take it to court, and we'll get discovery. But I say here and now they did it on purpose. I say that Cuomo is guilty. The greater Cuomo.
Whoa. Before you're getting legal cases, can you at least try and consult your lawyer before you?
Yeah, not consult. I'm throwing in. And Murphy. At least those two knowingly did what they did because they said this will be a way for us to help whatever Democrat we have running against Trump because we can use this as a cudgel to beat him up, just like they did with Bush and the Hurricane Andrew. Just like Katrina, they do this as a means of creating blowing out a big disaster. And I'm not putting down.
What Rahm Emanuel said: you can't let a disaster or crisis or a good disaster go to waste.
Yeah, no,
gotta use it.
This is exactly that playbook. This is this playbook, John.
The playbook of hate from the players of hate.
It is, and I'm not surprised considering that they want to have babies killed at birth. I'm not surprised.
I play some music now, but I don't even have a computer.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna tell you. So that's my segment on the haters on the left and the haters on the right. All I can say is, Democrats, good luck with those neocons. I stole his line.
No, that was Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
good luck with that, guys.
Good luck with them.
They're no longer in the Republican Party.
Because we don't want them. We don't want them ever to come back.
They're a bunch of idiots.
And you know what, John? We're going to replace them with the Americans the working class Americans, whether they're brown, blue, white, green, purple, it doesn't matter. Wherever they are, they're welcome into our tent. Because they're not welcome in the Democrat tent, the tent of the elites and the tent of the superior than us intellectuals who run the schools and the colleges.
The pencil neck geeks.
Yep.
The pencil neck geeks.
Yep.
And so one of our new sayings has to be that the black working class / middle class, the white working class / middle class, the Hispanic working class / middle class, all have to realize one thing.
Right.
They hate us. And they're trying to kill us and destroy us. And they're trying to bring in illegal aliens because they can manipulate them and use them and try and give them horribly low wages so that our wages are horribly low too. And they want to send all our jobs over to other countries so that they can kill us. And the reason why is because we're the competition. Any single one of us can start a business today, tomorrow in a garage and knock them off. They hate us because they know we're better than they are. We're tougher than they are. We're more courageous than they are, and we're better looking than they are.
Yeah. And one more thing, John. I want to point out that
2 out of 3.
that there's a lot of these fake Republicans saying we have to rebrand, and not even fake. I should say
Bill Castro, George Moron Will.
I shouldn't. And there's some Republicans who are good-natured about this and think that they need to rebrand the Republican Party as something, even towards the group that you just mentioned, that all the groups that how we're more inclusive and how all these things. I'm sorry, where I come from, the way I was raised, the Republican that I am, I don't have to rebrand myself. That's the way we've always been. That's the way we were raised. And that's the way all Republicans I know that were raised as well, because we believe in freedom first for everybody. We practice what was taught to us by our founding fathers and our founding of our the member of our party
and our founding parents.
And our founding parents. But Abraham Lincoln is the guy who freed the slaves, and he's the guy who said that we should all be free. So, I don't need to rebrand myself, is my point. You don't need to rebrand yourself, because we are the same people we were yesterday, before President Trump came along, and before even the neocons came along. We were still practicing what we preached. So that's my segment, brother.
All right, then we're on to the next one. Are you going to variously call this Trump Unleashed or Parabellum, Prepare for War? It's what he should do over the next, no matter what, as the legal battles out. He's got, 2 good months. So what should Trump do? Well, what should Trump do? He should fight the hate with the Trump love, the Trumpian love. And so we have some ideas for him, some Ballistic Patriot ideas for Trump to show the love.
Can I just put out my idea?
Okay. All right. Put your idea out.
I think right now he should expand the Supreme Court to 12 and put 3 more conservatives on there. That's mine right there.
All right. Here are our other ideas for the Ballistic Patriot.
You gotta have it odd, right? So it's got.
No, you can do whatever you want. 12. 12 is the jury. 12 is the jury. You make it 12. All right, so here goes. Ready? Here go the Ballistic Patriot official recommendations. All right, so number 1, appoint a special prosecutor, somebody like Sidney Powell, to investigate the election integrity.
Perfect.
And they can hire the most partisan people like Pam Bondi and Giuliani to put on it, just like they did to him, and let good old Biden can them. It's Biden's power, and when he does that, they can say, hey, look at him. He's an authoritarian and dictatorship, just like you accused me of being, because he did it and I didn't. Because again, I'm a better president than he was. That's our number 1. Number 2, turn it off. Go get General Flynn. Give him a pardon. We'll get that later. Say, General, turn it off. Turn it all off. FISA, all of it. All the secret surveillance that did nothing but was used to investigate the guy coming in. If they're going to do that to the guy coming in as president, what are they going to do to all of us? Turn it off. Turn it off and say, you know what? You want it? You go to turn and say, listen, guys, I'm just doing this for Joe. They did it to me. I'm doing it for Joe. I'm giving them the love.
So you're saying get rid of the FISA court?
Turn off all the computers and all the secret surveillance that they have, all the farms of it. Turn it all off. Turn it all off. So I'm doing it for you, Joe, so they can't spy on you like they did to me. I mean, like you did to me.
Yeah.
Number 3, pardon everybody. Pardon Flynn. Pardon, pardon that witless colonel who snitched on him. Can't pay him. They go, why? He didn't even get charged. Yeah, but we want whistleblowers to be pardoned for everything. That's so that they can show that I'm a better president than him, unless he pardons everybody who's a whistleblower. So now he has to deal with the state, the deep state, blowing whistles on him. Pardon everybody. Get Baywatch babe, the sweetie, and get her boyfriend.
Kid Rock.
No, the other one, Julian Assange. Pardon him. Pardon them all. Okay. Then
pardon Lonnie Anderson.
No, she's like friends with Pamela Anderson. You got it.
Lonnie Anderson.
Okay. What else in it? Goodbye rallies. He needs to come around and say to all of us, thank you all, and say, listen, you iron workers, I'm here for you. And I'll be back in 4 years, by the way. I'm here for you. Goodbye, because Trump loves you. Right. Yeah. Also, move to New York. Okay, where they're investigating him, and they plan to prosecute him. He should move to New York and immediately challenge the Cuomo idiot boys and say, listen, I'm going to start a couple charities here. I'm going to devote all my money to this, my fortune to this. Black Baby Lives Matter, Say it, say it, say it. Black people lives matter. He's going to have Black Fathers Matter, Hispanic new businesses matter. Okay, we're going to do those charities. We're going to move to New York, and I'm going to take it right to the face, punch them right in the face, and take it to the Black communities and Hispanic communities in the heart of the beast. Right, win that culture. Plus, it'll be easy for them to start.
Trump TV, which was our idea.
Our idea.
People tried to steal it. Just to be clear, we had it out last long time ago.
Get good old Rich Grinnell. You know, we love him, right? Rich Grinnell. Get him and say, listen, Rich, right? Put it all on the internet. And he goes, what do you mean? What? I thought I did, but no. Put it all on there. All of it. What do you mean? You know, all of it. I want all the laptops on it. I want Carlos Danger's laptop on there. I want Hillary's emails. Put it all on there. Put it all the investigation, everything. I want you to go find that creep from Arizona. What's his name? McCain. That's it. I want his war record on there. You know, the part where he gave up all the U.S. POWs. Put it all on the internet. All of it. Right?
Transparency, brother.
Transparency. There you go. Right?
Transparency is the antiseptic for democracy.
Now, for national security, this is where you can really step up. Calls up BB. Says, BB, do it. I'm giving you the green light. Click. And BB goes and takes out the freaking Iran because somebody has to take them out so that good old Joey can't try and rescue the Obama legacy of giving billions of dollars to these idiots in Iran to kill Americans. So let the Iranians meet their day in hell.
To say about that.
Go ahead, real quick.
So, WHO just reported. It was reported that at the WHO, the WHO meeting,
the band, the rock band.
No, not the band. The WHO meeting, the Iran, Palestinians, not China, North Korea, pretty much Cuba, all the Venezuela, they all jumped on the bandwagon of accusing Israel and attacking Israel, even to physical violence was done within the chamber, and why? Because they're saying they're accusing the Israelites, Israel government of preventing COVID testing or some inhumanity to be done to these people. But the part here is who is actually attacking Israel. It's all of the inhumane people. The only person missing, the only group of people missing was China. The only murderous scumbags out there that were missing from the attacking Israel was China. I mean, the abuse. Talk about abuse of people, abuse of humanity. These North Korea, Venezuela, Cuba, all these and many more, Iran, all of them.
Well, they're going to get worse. But there are a couple other things he can do in the national security things. Mm-hmm. He can do this too. Bring them back. Bring all our troops back from Afghanistan and Iraq and say, hey, I said I was going to get us out. The reason why I fired experts, not because I'm going to take over. I'm just doing this for Joe. I'm cleaning up my desk. I'm cleaning out my desk. I'm cleaning everything up. It's all for Joe. Right. Bring our guys, our kids back. Bring our kids back. And then he say, listen, Joe, I'm the only president in 40 years that's not started a war. You don't better do it either in Syria, okay? And then he can do this, right? Right after he brings back, call up little Kim. He said, listen, Kim, my buddy, my compadre. Listen, Kim, I'm gonna do that for 4 years. Here's what I want you to do, okay? Don't start a war. Guess what? Right? You can talk to him if you want. Just don't start a war, because guess what? I'm coming to visit. I'm gonna hang out with you, dude. Me and Dennis are coming, and we're gonna hang out. We're gonna play some b-ball. We're gonna hang out by the beach. Me and you, brother. I'm gonna, and there's president, of course, because shadow wannabe president, idiot Obama, the dumbest president we've ever had. Of course, went to the G20 and pretended to be the shadow president and all the rest of it. Yeah. So what he should do is say, listen, Kim, I'm coming. I'm gonna come visit. Me and you gonna hang out.
Yeah, why not?
Me and you. And then we're going to cut the deal of all deals. You just wait. All right? And that's what he should do with that. And then the final thing he should do is this. Now, I can't hand out that because I guess it's going to be a while. And as another ballistic brother, Baldini brother has pointed out, first run on medical. What did he say? What Christopher say about first run medical vaccines? He said the first ones have a horrible.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, polio. He said polio had a terrible, the first time out, terrible run. Major problems with people getting.
And so you couldn't give like Trump Zanzine or whatever they're calling it till April anyway. Yeah. So here's what he should do. He should just go around to each and every one of us and give us a big kiss. I said, I'm going to kiss you all because I love this country. And I am the Omega Man.
It's amazing they want to give us a vaccine that's going to have 90% effectiveness against a disease that has only a 2% mortality rate.
And all through this, he goes, listen, whether I'm the president or not, I'm just going to say in 3 years, I did more than these two idiots did in 8 years. And whether on right, with 12 years, and whether, especially with the economy too, right? He got 3% in 3 years, and you know, they didn't get more than 1% in 1 year. But he says, and even if I'm just the ex-president, I'm still going to be better than both of these idiots. Because I am Donald Trump. I am God's angel sent us to make America great again.
He's going to have Trump TV, and he's going to hire the Brotherhood of Liberty.
The Brotherhood of Liberty, the Baldini brothers, right? Well,
we're going to take.
We got some other stuff to do too, there, brother.
We do.
But that is our official recommendations to unleash the beast, to unleash the Trump, for the fight the hate with love, to steal the show, to steal the air as only he can do, to fight the culture war, and to clean up his desk and say, listen, I'm just doing this for Joe.
Well, you know, one of the things that Victor David Hanson did say is that the culture is so bad that we have everyone's trying to be on the left, and it's so easy to give in to that, to be one of the cool guys, I'm cool now.
The cool soy boys.
Yeah, so that, I mean, it's really easy. So we have to fix that, and I think the only way that we
gotta win the culture.
Win the culture.
Send in our angel, our archangel Trump.
Trump TV, and Trump Flicks.
Trump Flicks, yep.
Don't forget
Trump News.
Trump Flicks, Trump News. I like that. All right, brother. That's anything else you want to add for
No, that's our show. You're gonna cut that. I just like to say it's great. I think we do so much better when we're together. Yeah. Except that I don't have a computer and I got nothing behind me like I'm supposed to.
Well, we could fix that if we have more time.
When we're gonna have our studio back? I missed the studio.
When what we did today turns into something bigger than what today is. We'll have
nothing was bigger than today. Today was amazing.
We'll have next time we do it, we'll have a big jump to the next step in Ballistic Patriot's history. And that's all for now, folks. That's all for the good of the order. Take care. God bless.
Power.
Base command. Our trajectory is set.
Was it the